Oh,
I've been a fan of him from when he posted his first video, and I'll be his fan till he posts his last video.
You hear these stories how tough it is for adults.
He's 16 and he's doing it all on his own.
The first time we met, he almost passed me by.
You know, man, I still have not heard one Justin Bieber song. Not even part of one.
You sure you haven't heard one? Because, I mean, if you heard one, you pretty much heard all 10 of them.
Sure. Well, the songs aren't really the marketing point. It's his hair. So if you've seen his hair, you've seen what Justin Bieber has to offer.
It's a Donny Osmond hair.
If I've seen the hair, I've pretty much heard the music then.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to figure, okay, you basically take Michael Jackson and run it through a copier enough that it's downgraded to become Usher. And you take Usher and run that through enough to where it's bleached out enough to become Justin Bieber, and there you go.
A clone of a clone of a clone of a clone, and eventually you get from James Brown to Justin Bieber.
It's funny that you're sitting here saying how I've never heard a Justin Bieber song since I wasn't supposed to be the only one to go see this movie. As a matter of fact, I didn't even think about it till you said, oh, yeah, me and Cole's still going to go. And then suddenly there's the old switcheroo where I'm like, man, what y'all think of that? You're like,
well, I was going to go, but I didn't feel like looking like a pedophile that night.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know what? Really pick that one time and not be a pedophile?
You know, it's something to go see something like Marmaduke at midnight, but to go at midnight by yourself, a 30-some-year-old man saying, I want to see Justin Bieber movie.
Yeah, I mean, especially in a miniskirt like he likes to wear.
That fucking movie's a trap for child molesters.
Well, it's funny because you have to make the distinction. Like, I want a ticket for the Justin Bieber movie. No. I'm not into him or the boys. I'm just here for the girls.
Wait.
Great. Okay. Granted, I'm a pedophile, but I'm not a homosexual pedophile. And that's got to count for something, right?
Yeah. You walk through the door the moment you pay for that ticket. Excuse me, Mr. Coleman, could I tell you? I'm a critic. Yeah, that's what the last guy said.
Yeah. I knew you guys were going to arrest me, but can I at least watch the movie first?
Myself, I try to see everything, no matter how shitty. But I only have a few of the get out of jail free cards to play every year, and I played my get out of Bieber free card on this one.
Cyrus, let me tell you something from the bottom, the most sincerest part of my heart. Watch that movie. I was actually glad that you didn't go see it.
Okay, all right.
Because you would just would have your head would have exploded like scanners had you been there. There was just nothing in there for you there. You'd have come out pissed off.
Well, I saw a sequence when he was on The Daily Show. It showed him playing the drums, where I was like, wow, Justin Bieber's actually a pretty good drummer. I could watch, a kid playing the drums for 20 seconds.
Well, you know what? Thankfully, you only see him play the drum for those 20 seconds. I mean, it's like, okay, he's a little kid who can play the drums. He ain't the only one. I mean, you go to any church, you'll see a little kid who can play drums.
But then you got to deal with
Of course, that little kid's black, so you never go see him on a movie. But
shit, you go to Louisiana, you see kids playing fucking buckets, man.
True.
Yeah,
or New York City for that.
Yeah, New York City. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't go either, because nobody would have heard that movie. Because you know how Cyrus goes to a movie, he doesn't like. He's like, in this one, he would be like,
that's the thing. It's like one thing I liked about going to see this movie. Well, okay, put that in quotation marks. Is that it's tons of screaming little girls in there, but it does give you that feel like, okay, this is what it would be like to be at the concert. It's almost like surround sound for that. But I probably wouldn't have heard them at all just of him going, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
I rarely actually say something. Although during the roommate, I was effusive. But
you would have said something through this.
Okay, fair enough.
So, Leon, when you bought your ticket, were you in drag? when you dressed up like a teenage girl?
No, come on. It's a traditional Scottish garb, okay?
Chicken wire made it for braces.
No.
I'm here for the Justin Bieber movie. He's so dreamy. One of his titties pop.
This is the traditional dress of my class.
Hurry. No, but man, so wait a minute. Now, everybody knows Justin Bieber, right, at this point. Now, is he grown?
He's
now?
16.
I thought he was 17.
If he's 17, he just turned 17.
Okay, everybody knows that he's this pop phenomenon now. I mean, from my understanding, Justin Bieber, now he's a white kid. And one night, Usher broke through his window and kidnapped him, drugged him, and made him the star that he is now. That's the story I heard.
I only wish that were true because that would lend something interesting to this story or to his legend. I mean, this is not much different than the Jonas Brothers movie. I'm like, I know what I'm going to get here. It's going to be a few scenes of him singing in concert with some of his celebrity friends. It's going to be a lot of the people he grew up with saying like, oh, he was always a great kid. He was always just a talent. And we knew he would make it someday, and they'd have some old footage. And then also cut to like, oh, look how many teenage girls are just losing their shit over him. And that's what it was. Back and forth, just circulating between those things. The story of Justin Bieber, not terribly interesting.
Even with all the behind the scenes footage,
yeah, even with all
child?
that's the thing, man. I mean, this ain't like, you're getting a concert footage of Elvis or I mean somebody who's been around a long time, who's had a chance to really build up a legend and done some things. 16-year-old kid from Canada, born to a teenage mom, raised by his grandparents, performing, just doing talent shows, sticking his videos on YouTube. Some young producer who's looking for a shot sees him and he can't get enough of him and says, I got to get this kid. And
so Usher is that?
No, it wasn't even Usher. It's a guy named Scooter Braun.
Oh, Scooter Braun.
Yeah, Scooter Braun.
I used to love him when he's on the Muppet Show.
Yeah. Well, that's when he did his best work. But yeah, he flies him down to Atlanta and just like, I'm going to take him around and make you a star, kid. And took him everywhere, and every door shut in his face like, it's a 15-year-old kid. What are we supposed to do with him? Get the fuck out of our office. And even like, he brought Usher. He's like, all right, I'm taking around Usher. Don't say nothing. Don't meet his eye. Nothing. And just immediately went up to him like, Usher, I think you're the greatest. You got to let me sing one of your songs to you. And Scooter Braun he looked at him like, the fuck I just tell you not to do. And Usher just blew him off like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because he thought he was Scooter's nephew, so he was being nice.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until much later he was allowed to sing in front of Usher.
What an honor.
I know.
Yeah, Usher sitting on his throne. Entertain me, Bieber.
He's lucky because the last kid got thrown into the Rancor pit.
Yeah, Usher's about to press that trapdoor button. Oh, wait a minute.
The salacious crumb on the edge of his
I would love to see that Justin Bieber fighting the Rancor Mustard. That's how he got his shot in front of Usher. He killed the Rancor Mustard.
He's like, this kid's got something.
Oh, fuck. If he killed the Rancor Monster, then he got, please.
Well,
yes. Yeah. Where were you? Please finish your song.
Short of killing the Rancor, what happened in between the first meeting with Usher and the second meeting with Usher is that Scooter Braun took that kid around the country to every single radio station and made him go out there and play, get his guitar and sing for his supper like 1,000 times, to where he just built up a teenage girl following. So that it built to where like, hey, 20 people at a state fair. Okay, now it's 40 people at a record store. Okay, now it's 100 people here. So, I mean, the fame he's built up, he's had to work his ass off for it.
Every label says no platform for him. Justin was looking at me like, when are we going to do something? Hand-to-hand combat is what we did. We put Justin in a van and on airplanes. He just got focused on what we had to do.
All right, Q102 live in the studio. Justin Bieber.
What's up, guys? Justin, what are you going to sing for us right now?
I'm going to perform one time right now.
When I met you, girl, my heart went knock, knock.
There's not a DJ that can say they have not met Justin Bieber. And he won people over.
Yeah.
Wow. That was nice, man. Justin Bieber, do not forget us, bro. Don't forget us.
He started twittering. I'm going to be at this radio station. I'm going to be at this radio station. First 20 kids, then 40 kids, then 100 kids, then a couple hundred kids started lining up outside of these radio stations to just get a glimpse of him. And they started to play his record.
So it's admirable then what he's done.
That part is admirable. I would say, okay, that's admirable that the kid worked so hard, and from what they made it look like, he's not burnt out. Although there does come a point where he blows out his vocal cords.
Can I ask you something? And I'm being serious here. All right, now that I've seen both, and probably I don't know if both you and I have seen these.
Okay.
But I've seen the Miley Cyrus movie.
Yes.
I actually came out and gave that movie a full price because it served its audience, which is a bunch of fucking screaming kids.
Right.
Served them well.
Yeah.
And it was cool 3D and all that kind of stuff. And then we saw the Jonas Brothers movie.
Right.
Not so good. It was just it wasn't terrible, but it was just like, I didn't learn anything about these guys. I don't know anything about these guys. Now, Justin Bieber, you telling me all these facts about him that I didn't know. So between Miley Cyrus and the Jonas Brothers, what is this movie
this isn't A&E's biography, Bieber with a bunch of pop sequences.
In 3D.
Right? I mean, if it had been, it's like, okay, it serves its audience for the teenage girls because they get to see him. He runs around with his shirt off a little bit. I mean, he ain't Jacob from Twilight or nothing. No, I mean, it's just a lot of like candid footage. They throw some in. He's just a 16-year-old kid. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. He's a 16-year-old vanilla kid. God bless his heart. He's sincere as he wants to be, but it's just not that much to him. the concert footage they show, okay, he has Jaden Smith come out and sing, and Ludacris closes the show.
God damn, Ludacris. That's just weird, dude. I don't even know what to say. Coming up next, a reunion of Public Enemy opening up for Justin Bieber.
Ludacris. I see he's living up to that name now.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He has old ass boys to men out there. They look like an old black barbershop quartet. And
them motherfuckers are they're men to men.
Oh, they're men to old men.
Man to old niggas.
And they're singing backup for him, and they like that. You can really even hear them singing. It could have been the Elvis Presley's The Jordanaires for what it matters. And then he's like, oh, it's an honor to have these guys out here. And I'm sure all those girls are like, who?
Who are these guys? I thought they were catering.
And you get to see the crew that travels with him, like the stage mother that is focused on his voice. And what I found fascinating, there's one guy on his payroll who's just hired to be his jester. It's like a guy who's in his about 30 years old. He's there just to talk loud and make Justin laugh whenever he needs to. That's his only job.
Suddenly, at a horrifying image that if Spill shuts down at some point, that's going to be me.
We're going to be serving Justin Bieber.
Teenager, some teen's irritating star. Hey, waka waka waka.
I mean, it's really hard. There's a point where it's just his job to just talk loud and make everybody laugh and keep Justin in a good mood.
Gee, this kid sounds like Satan, man. It's like he beats his black man when he doesn't make him laugh. But amuse me.
The feeling is like it's not even him doing it. It's like the people around him who are setting this up. Like, hey, this kid's our meal ticket.
Do you remember that Twilight Zone episode
with Billy Mumy as the kid?
Where they had that kid with the magical powers.
Yeah, and the whole town was scared of him.
And the whole town was scared of him.
Yeah, they adapted it for the movie, except it was, I think, a girl, wasn't it?
No, it was a boy.
Was it a boy too?
No, they adapted it to this movie. It's Justin Bieber. I don't know what kind of power he has, but everybody's scared of this motherfucker.
It's
I guess it's money, right?
Yeah, I mean, like the concert footage stuff. It's not that great. I mean, even the Jonas Brothers had a little bit more going on as far as their concert went. Mm-hmm. And his story, there's just not that much to it. You wish there was, and I'm not saying it had to be something cynical and evil, but it's just not all that terribly interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
I gotcha.
It serves its audience, but its audience is very small. It's a very niche audience. It's hard to be not a 13-year-old girl and see what you could enjoy about the movie. Even though it's not playing up to you, there's just nothing there.
Okay, but I mean, so all the kids are there
to give it a rating.
All the kids are there to see a concert film.
Pretty much,
and they're there to see Justin Bieber. They're
there to see him. I mean, somehow they're milking people for you got to pay a lot of money. It's like $15 for a ticket with the 3D. And as far as 3D goes, there's a couple times he points right at the screen. Other than that,
and that's it.
That really is it.
So you paying to see Justin Bieber point
at you, like you the one.
Did you feel like you were the one?
No.
Okay, all right. Then that's not worth $15.
No.
Okay.
I mean, he does the thing every concert. He brings some girl on the stage and sings to her just to make her cry.
Yeah.
And pretty much ruin her life. You see these girls completely break down. It's like, wow, she ain't gonna get another boyfriend for 10 years.
What's funny is that teen pop hasn't really changed much over the years.
No.
As much as people like to decry Bieber as like the end of civilization on some level.
There's always gonna be another one.
There's always been. You know what I mean? Look at we started by comparing with Donny Osmond, and that's completely a fair comparison. Or the guy from the Hardy Boys, Sean Cassidy.
Sean Cassidy.
I mean, there's always been guys just like him who are just.
It was Jesse McCartney
milquetoast
a little while ago.
Hey, look at Ricky Nelson, man.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with them, but I kind of feel bad for the guys in the sense that in a couple of years their flavor will be over and it'll be whatever the next flavor is.
It might,
and the odds are heavily against them having much staying power past them.
You know what? That is the thing. It's like you watch him and it's everybody talking about what a talent he is. Oh, he's so talented. And I don't know, man. Maybe I've just been around long enough to see what a talent is. It's like, now this kid has a way of singing this one type of song. It ain't the best I've heard. There's nothing remarkable about it. And I was like, you know what? He's not really showing the talent to switch up and do new things. I don't know where he's going to be by the time he's 20.
Come on, man. I would like to say that, but whoever would have thought like somebody could have got by making a career out of and chamon and singing lines like, yeah, vegetable. I mean, it's like Michael Jackson.
Okay, if you look at him when he's Lil Michael and Jackson 5, who's singing amazing soul, like you ever watch that old footage?
Okay, you know what? I feel bad comparing Justin Bieber to Michael Jackson because Michael Jackson could dance. He could sing like amazing.
But I'm not even the world's biggest fan of Michael Jackson, and I will tell you that there's no question that he was more talented than him.
Without a doubt. I'm not even trying to say that.
Threat even as a kid. And when it gets to Off the Wall, you go, okay, I'm sorry, this is just a really great rock album. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, he had that quantum leap in what he was doing.
Yeah, exactly. But the question is, does Bieber show any signs of being a guy who could or even would do that? You know, be able to transform himself on that level.
The kid's got heart, and he loves to perform. And he did 186 shows and blew out his voice. And they had to make him not go on the road anymore.
So it's hard to not like him after this movie.
Yeah. I mean, you don't come away hating him.
Yeah.
It just makes you go like, wow, you know what? The business is just a beast that has to constantly be fed, and he's what he's what's feeding it now. But there'll come a point where where he's not doing it, and they're going to toss him aside.
It's bizarre to me though. I can't help thinking about all you're seeing like Ludacris and Usher and all these people. It's just freaking me out. This the whitest guy on the planet right now. He is like, if the KKK openly got back together again, they would put Bieber on their flag. Even if Bieber had nothing to do with it. He's just the whitest thing we can think of.
Hey, man, the world is taking a shift. I mean, we got white people who are becoming what black people used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they're becoming rappers and soul and R&B singers and
meth heads.
And meth heads. There you go.
And white people kind of taking over the meth thing.
Yeah, man.
A white thing.
And then you
got
got
the blues.
Heroin used to be what black jazz musicians used to do. And Kurt Cobain made it cool for white people.
He brought heroin back to the white man.
Oh yeah, he did. And then you got black people who were doing like white things, like playing golf, and the other day
having sex with white women.
Having sex with white women, you know how it is.
Without getting killed for it.
And then the other day, I saw the Pro Bowling Association on TV, and guess who I saw bowling? I shit you not. I saw Nelly and Lil Wayne bowling. So you see that we are very much making a polar opposite shift here.
Well, you see Ice Cube, who used to be like one of the most dangerous black men out there. I mean, he was Niggers with Attitude? Was that his band?
Yeah.
And you see him back in the old days, he's sporting a gat, and he's just like, motherfucker, fuck you, I'll kill you all. And then like 20 years later, come on, kids, let's get to the RV.
Are we there yet?
Go fishing.
Are we there yet? Number 5, ting. Oh, let me remake Fridays for the 8th time.
Oh, is that your soul? Let me just take that out. Thank you. And now here's some money.
Speaking of which, Snoop Dogg also appears in this movie.
Oh, you know what? Snoop Dogg's everywhere now. I'm not even.
I think he's too stoned to know what's happening around him, and he just doesn't care. Which I can respect that at least. He's like, whatever.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg hanging out on Sesame Street now. I mean, that ain't no big deal. Snoop Dogg,
so wasn't he on Martha Stewart?
I think so. I think he told her how to bake a cake. Is how we used to do in the hood. But man, so you don't want to give this movie a rating. I understand if you don't.
I just kind of, it's so niche-y. Anything I say bad about it, if I say, it's a rental, it's like, well, I wouldn't rent it, and I wouldn't recommend anybody who rent it.
I wouldn't rent it.
But, unless you have a teenage daughter, maybe even preteen, but then, because it was all entirely girls between the age of 8 and 14.
Okay, so it's for them. It's hard for you to say anything.
By the time it comes out on DVD, he'll be over anyway. So,
come on. The thing is, I watch it and I'm just trying to take it in the spirit from what it's meant and not be cynical about it. But I'm like, we live in a TMZ culture right now. And there is no way that they're going to let him just have this free ride before they start going, okay, now let's dig into the father that abandoned him when he was 9 months old and what's going on with that. And you're going to look back at this footage and go like, oh, that was back when things were nice for him and he was such a sweet kid. And what happened? This movie, it will be great for the archivists at Behind the Music. Because it's going to provide them with a lot of B-roll.
I'm going to be nice to him because when we're in front of his throne, juggling for him. He's going to remember I was the one that was kind to him. You two are going to be the ones getting the beatings.
I'm not giving this movie a rating.
I'm going to get that extra serving of slop when you guys only getting a little bit. So Usher was in this movie, right?
Feed you in the trowel in front of his throne. That's it. Feast, Corey. Feast.
Yeah, there's a spot on my shoe here. But
it is all.
Usher was in it.
Oh,
right?
and Miley Miley Cyrus comes out for a song.
Well, of course.
And
not at the same time he's on stage.
No,
though,
no,
right?
no. They come out the same
they
time.
use split screen?
Yeah, no, she comes out and sings.
I think they're the same person.
And then well, you know, they do a bit. It's funny because, you know, you think like back when she was in his position, 2 years ago, of being the sweet, wholesome kid. And now she steps out there just like Storm from the X-Men with a big, you know, nose ring and, you know, boobs all pushed up and a skirt up hanging up by her cooch. And
sounds hot.
Yeah, that's the thing you think. You ain't thinking of her as a little girl no more. And he's singing with her and trying to put his arms around her, and she's so like smiling, but has his "get your hands off me."
She's like, "Get this motherfucker off me."
And it's just like, you know what? This is where he's gonna be.
Well, maybe he'll be like Miley Cyrus, and we'll find where he sent nude pictures to his boyfriend one day.
Well, that is one thing I thought. I was like, man, this kid's 16 years old, and they're not showing where his sex life comes from. And you know there's got to be something. Like, yeah, I'm waiting for the story later when the guys who break on like, yeah, you know, I had to pull like 8 or 9 10-year-olds from the audience every week. And it's even when he was 18, I had to do it. I hate myself.
I had a family to feed.
Look, I had to give him my daughter at some point. I'm not proud of it.
Threw her into the Bieber volcano.
There's going to be times when people tell you that you can't live your dreams. This is what I tell them. Never say